Welcome back. We were staying, of course, on top of that big story from just yesterday. President Joe Biden no longer seeking re-election.
And now he wants Democrats to put all their support behind Vice President Kamala Harris for the top of the ticket. We have political analyst and professor at North Central College, Maynard Caliendo, here in the studio with us this morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to have you here. I know you were here with us last night, too. Right. So much to talk about. And one of the big questions we've been talking about all morning is what's the process like? So would Harris automatically be the pick at the DNC in Chicago next month, or could somebody really step up and challenge her? And how quickly could that happen?
Well, it has to happen very quickly. She's not the nominee. She's not the nominee. She has been endorsed by the former presumptive nominee, but no votes have been cast, and no votes will be cast until either they arrive in Chicago, or, which sounds more likely, there's some virtual roll call vote that happens in the weeks prior. So we may have in the next week or so the actual nominee selected, but as of today, there's no nominee.
So do you expect someone will come out and challenge her, or what's happening behind closed doors right now with party leaders?
It seemed very clear yesterday that she was on the phone a lot. A lot of her surrogates were there. I was watching across multiple national news networks and saw very consistent talking points from folks who were supporting her. So there's some organization here. It didn't just start yesterday at noon. And so I think the idea is to discourage other folks from challenging and getting in the race. One rumor that was circulated was that former Democrat U.S. Senator Joe Manchin may throw his name in, but I don't think anybody that's in good standing with the Democratic Party has given any real indication that they want to do that at this point.
Yeah, that was my question, because I'm thinking for someone to step up and challenge her while she has the endorsement of President Biden and already so many growing endorsements, is that viable that someone could actually beat her in this?
Yeah, it's technically viable because no votes have been cast yet, but I think you're right to ask, Audrina, because I think if you think about the fact that it already looks like President Biden had been forced out, and now if we're saying she also got 14 million votes because she was on the ticket in the primaries, and even his endorsement now is getting forced out, I think that could cause some discord that the Democratic Party would like to avoid.
Well, and like Lori Lightfoot said, who's one of our analysts right now for the upcoming DNC, she said, so what you're going to tell me, you're basically going to skip over a black woman who's already on the ticket and the current VP.
That's right.
And that could be potentially, I think the suggestion is that would really anger a lot of voters.
I think it would anger a lot of voters. It also, there's financial consequences because she has access to all the money that the Biden-Harris campaign raised to this point. No other Democratic nominee would have access to those funds.
So another big question we have 30 seconds left. We want to dig into it quickly. Who and what should she be looking for in a VP candidate, a potential running mate?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that it's probably going to be a man. It's probably going to be a white man, and it likely will be somebody either from the Midwest or maybe the South, right? So that doesn't limit it a lot, but it limits it a little bit. And so
is that to balance the ticket? For
a little,
lack of a better phrase?
A little bit. Although we political scientists know that typically people don't vote for vice president. You don't always even get the state to be carried. It doesn't matter all that much. Donald Trump was probably going to win Indiana even without Pence. He's probably going to win Ohio even without Vance, and so it's not necessarily that, but it does preclude some of the larger conversations. Look, I would say, why not have two women on the ballot? There's no reason not to do that in the abstract. But voters may have concerns.
I just have to ask you with that really quickly.
Sure.
Do you think that's viable? Two women? Do you think the country would?
No. I don't think they would do it, and I think that the reasons that it's not viable are things that we ought to be talking about meaningfully as a country, because there's absolutely no good reason for that not to be the case. But I think you're exactly right, Dana. It's not going to happen.
I'm not saying there shouldn't be.
No,
I
understand.
Saying, in terms of voters.
That's exactly right. You're exactly right.
All right, Maynard Caliendo, we really, as always, appreciate your insight.
It's great to see you both.
It's good to talk about this political process. This is unprecedented. Absolutely, and we hope you'll come back.
I'll be back. I may just sleep here. Yeah,
you should. We would appreciate that.